AA, see you in church. Hi, I'm Manuel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave a little message, put the hand up high, and let me know a topic you'd want to talk about. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm sure she's not going to see this, but there's a young lady named April Butcher. And I think she says she's the mother of color. Your friendly mother of color. And I just love her to pieces. She's really smart. She doesn't just say, "Look at my face, I'm beautiful and everything," which a lot of people do. She doesn't go buy a palette that has 100 colors and only give you one look. I tired of all of those. I've started taking them off. I love watching hers because she shows people that it doesn't matter what your age is, have fun. You can take with you something of sparkle. You finish working, you put a little sparkle, you go and meet your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. And there you go. You have a great time with them, and you just put on a little sparkle. That's what she does for people. But right now, there's a lot of drama in this world going on, and a lot of assholes in this world going on. She's going through something I went through a while back. Wow, quite a while back. She's like me, a person of color. I'm not black, I'm Hispanic. But all my life, I've had to fight for the right to be me. When I was younger, I was whiter than white. And my brothers had darker skin. And I always heard people drop a stone here and there, but to me, I didn't care. I talked to my mom, and she would say things like, "Whatever people think is not your business." Well, they're telling me what they think, and do you care? No, but then it doesn't hurt you. Then, when I moved out my first time on my own, I had neighbors. And I'm actually a quiet person. I'll play video games and whatever, but I don't have the sound up loud. I listen to music and whatever, but I don't have the sound out loud. I never understood how distorted speakers make your music sound better. How does distorted speakers make your TV sound better? Video games sound better. It to me it doesn't. So I'm usually quiet. I cook, I made my food, quiet. Watch my movies, quiet. The place I was living, stone thick walls, quiet. But my neighbors were so loud, so loud. And one day I had had enough. That's what's going on with April right now. I called the police. The police went over. They spoke to them. Well, first they came and spoke to me. I played them recordings of all the noise they make. He says, "You got stone walls." Yes, thick stone walls. "And you can hear it that loud?" Yes. And Okay, he went and talked to them and told them to be quiet. They said, "You got thick stone walls. Why is your neighbor hearing you?" Well, they always have their door open. They can hear. And he came back and asked me, and I said, "I never open my door. I have air conditioning. That would be going out the door." He says, "Oh," he goes, "your place isn't that cool either." I said, "It's cool enough. I don't need to be freezing." He goes, "Okay." That was it. He says, "Okay, I warned them. I gave them a warning." I said, "That's fine." They made so much noise again. And I recorded it. And I had a friend talk on the tape. And we were both there. And I'm like, and my friend who lives across the street goes and says, "Are they always like that?" I said, "Yes, they are." So she called the police. And the police went and approached them. So one day I was coming home, and they started saying some stuff to me, and I said, "I don't care." I said, "I lived there. I'm not the problem, you are." And I told them where they could jump off because I was on the second floor. I said, "So far as I care, you can jump off the rail. I'm not telling April to do that." Well, they were so happy because now they could call and complain. Well, the police came over, and there was a white woman in the group, just like what April went through, and she was trying to give attitude. And I said, "Ma'am and sir, could you please stand inside?" "What?" "Yeah, come in." They walked in, and I went over, "Well, thank you, police officers. You have a good day." And I closed the door. And I played them the tape. I had them sit down, and I said, "I have what I want you to hear." And I played the tape. You could hear the people next door loud and loud. And he says, "Well, where did you record that?" I said, "I recorded it where it's sitting." And the woman started making, like her, because she was a white woman also, excuses. And I asked her, "Can I have your name?" And she says, "Why's that?" And I said, "Because what I'm going to do is every time I have to call a police officer over to deal with them, I'm going to give you as the reason why I'm calling them, because you did not deal with the problem, the real problem. I'm playing you tapes of how they act, and you're not listening because they're white people next door." So every time I have to call for assistance, I'll give your name because you didn't do your job, and react to the reality. And not 5 seconds after I said that, the next door neighbors started all their noise like usual. And he says, "Is that what you hear all the time?" I said, "Yeah, this is a quiet neighborhood. We get free air conditioning. We don't have to open our door and leave it open. I don't need to be freezing, so I don't open my door ever. I don't open the window ever. It's nice in my apartment, except for that." After that, and after I took her name down, not his, just hers, He says, okay, I'm going to deal with this right now. And he told her to stay at the door. And she thought she was going to tell him something, and he gave her a look and told her, I will turn you in. He walked next door. He says, excuse me, but you said you were quiet. Why is this music so loud? Why are you talking so loud? Your complaint's on him, but the noise is you. You're the problem. And I'm putting it in record. If we come down here one more time, we will arrest you. And in my case, it stopped. But to be honest, a month later, they moved out. And in 2 days, I had black neighbors. And can I tell you something? My neighbors weren't quiet people, but I still couldn't hear them because I had thick walls. I made no more calls. Then they moved out, and I got Hispanic neighbors. They weren't quiet people. Mexicans aren't quiet, but I couldn't hear them either. But I didn't have to make any calls either. And it was only one family. By the time I moved out of there, I had white neighbors again. Those ones, though, weren't like the bitches that were living there before. I had to move because I got a new job. But the thing is that when a police officer comes to harass you like that lady did, you take down her name and let her know that every time I have to call on the noise of the next door neighbor, I'm going to give you your name to let them know that you're the reason they're still making noise. And instead of them taking care of some other important call, they're here so I can complain on those people who are making too much noise when I'm trying to rest. But what do you think? Do you think that's the way she should handle it too? Because to be honest, that's exactly how I handled it. I made it very clear to the police officer. And then when they proved her wrong, which was about 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes later, after I played some tapes and I had them in there hearing the loudness, but what do you think? How do you feel about what I was talking about? Because to be honest, the way things are today, you have to deal with it that way. Because police officers still think they have the power. Well, guess what? We got to take back the power. We don't go throwing knives or shooting at them or whatever. But what we do is we make them responsible for the next call. And every time a white police officer or a black or Chinese or Mexican or whoever does not want to listen to you and dismisses you, you take their name down. So when you call the next police officers to come and deal with it, you give them the names of every single police officer that thought it was okay and funny that those people are jerks next door and are making that kind of racket. But what do you think? Because that's what I did. I threatened that. And every single time like that, because before that, I had police officers that were telling me all this stuff, and I had seen police officers abuse and beat up Hispanics and blacks my whole life because that's what lived around me. My best friend was a young black man, and all the way through, I had young black women as my best friends in high school. Same thing in real life. My best friend was a black man. And I've seen Hispanic people and black people and every other kind of people treated badly by white cops. So I don't pay attention. I've even had a white cop said, "Well, I guess you won't be calling us." I said, "Why would I? You guys don't do your job." But when I want to break my lease with that hotel or apartment, whatever you want to call them, I needed all those write downs so I could go hand them. And I say, "Look, all of these here are the reason why you're going to break the lease so I can go somewhere else where I don't have to deal with them, because I've complained to you guys, you do nothing. Now I got all these complaints. Now you either break me from that or I take you to court, and then you got to give me all that money during that time I paid to stay here. You have a choice. Let me go, or we go to court and I get all that money back." But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a little message, put the hand up high, and let me know something you'd like to talk about. But remember, AA, see you in church.